What up, car people? Ariel here. I wanted to give you a quick update on the status of the Celica. So I have commenced wire tug phase 2, which means that the Celica is in pieces once again. So I just want to give you a little walk around and take a trip down memory lane so you can see how far I've really come with this car. I've had it since 2007 and it's an act of love, definitely. I love cars, I love modifying things, and hopefully it shows through the car. It's my form of expression, it's my art. So check it out. This is Wire Tug Phase 2. As you can see, everything is in pieces and laying in the car in one way or another. Here's my custom-made radio delete with kill switch, a couple of switches there, and a voltage meter. My cluster with red LEDs, my door sills with undercoating. There's my battery, which is currently not strong enough to start the car. It sat for a while, so these batteries like to sit on a trickle charger if they're not going to be used for a minute. And I don't have electricity here, so it just wasn't an option. So I'll have to jump start that. Here's the inside of the car. The dash has been removed so that I can flock it and add a couple of accent pieces there. The Celica definitely has a lot of wires. Here is the heater box that I've removed from the car. That's not going back in, so the heater core's here. And there's a diverter box and whatnot. In any case, not going back in the car because race car. And here is the, let's see, here is the AC. Here's the blower motor unit. Blower motor is contained in here. And the cabin filter as well. Also not going back in the car because race car. I wanted to free up as much room as possible under the dash so that I can relocate once again my fuse boxes and my ECU. So let me take you guys inside so we can take a trip together down memory lane and see how far I've come with this car since since back in the day when I first picked it up and it was a stock Celica GTS. Let's do this. Alright, car people, we're inside now. So it's time for the slideshow. Let's start that up. Yeah. Alright, so we're just going to take a trip down memory lane and look at the pictures in my Evil Celica folder. It's not in order. A lot of the pictures are janky. It's just kind of random stuff that I took when I had my iPhone 3GS and I was building the Celica. A couple of shots were with my first point and shoot camera. But anyway, let's just get into the pictures. I'll show you the picture, explain a bit of it, and give you a little backstory on me and my Celica history. So, let's do it. Yeah. Boom. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Alright, so my slideshow is running here. This is like the little Celica crew, low-income tuners, some of my buddies. This dude couldn't make it, so kind of just blended him in there. But these were like the three main Celica people in the tri-state area. One of, myself included. This is a picture of my Celica parked at the Goodyear That was my first mechanic job, and they had me doing a lot of sweeping and cleaning, not much wrench turning. But I always worked on my Celica. That's how I wanted to be a great mechanic. So I took my car and I allowed it to be the guinea pig. Celica again, yellow fog lights. I thought very classy. Love yellow fog lights. I was big on Initial D back then. This is a local wash here in Jersey, which I love to go to. Always seem to take pictures of the car. Sudsy. Yeah, nice side profile. I was rocking hood spacers back in the day. No more. Too ricey for me. Engine bay. This is the beginning of my engine bay. There was no wire tuck yet. I didn't know what to do with my engine plastics, so they were just kind of off. But I was polishing things, and I was, kind of color coding things. This Optima battery this is a marine battery, and I've painted it red, blue, whatever, just kind of make it match. I spend way too much money on batteries. I had an Optima red top and this blue top, and later down a PC 680. My Pro Sport gauges. I've always wanted this 3-gauge pod cubby door thing. It would look good molded, but you do need to access the back of these gauges every now and then. I'm not the happiest with the quality of these gauges, but for the price, I guess they were okay. Maybe I just was unlucky. So they turn red to warn you. So you set the parameter on these, and they'll turn red and they'll warn you. I painted a lot of interior parts with this textured finish because I thought getting in and out of the car, it wouldn't scuff up as easily. I was wrong. I painted my intake manifold. This is my favorite spray paint, this semi-gloss black. There's the part number DE1634. That's my favorite semi-gloss black for painting engine parts or anything really. I painted most of my interior with it. Transmission out of the car, cleaned up. Out of the car for the first time. Yeah, it was a mess in here. While the motor was out, I went ahead and did these energy suspension steering rack bushings. I also looped the power steering rack, so no more power steering. My daily driver, the Geo Prism, always holding it down. Celica hangs. This is one of the first pictures of the Celica when I got it. This is 2007 at Seaside Heights annual Celica meet. This was probably one of the last Seaside Heights annual Celica meets. After that, it was kind of hard to find more Celica people, and most of the Celica people I kind of just found on the internet after that, and the community wasn't as strong as it was back in the day. I guess when the car came out, there was a lot of excitement for it. This is a little after the motor was rebuilt. One of the first instances where the car actually started getting a lot of attention. I thought nothing of it. I was just building what I liked, so for other people to like it was interesting for me. It was fun. Still fun. Shifter cable bushings. I love these. I recommend you get these if you don't have these already. You can find these on eBay. Less than $50. ADD oil sandwich plate. I love purple parts, so anything purple. But that was back in the day. I'm probably going to get away from the purple stuff. But back in the day, it was hard to find parts that were purple. It was usually red, blue, or silver, or black. But purple wasn't a common color, so I was super excited to find this sandwich plate. There weren't many options in purple unless you were going to paint it yourself. Here's the bushings again. These are brass bushings, solid shifter cable bushings. Pro Sport gauges. This is me and a couple of friends heading to Fresh Meat at Campbell Field. We were rolling with my friend Sal, who has a nice Supra. They didn't let us park together. We weren't cool enough to park next to the Supra. As soon as we all pulled in, they ushered the Supra into the VIP section, and they didn't want us with them. Thus is life. Celica, not cool. But it was a good drive, and I got to lead the pack, so it was kind of cool to see a Celica with a Supra tailing it close by. Nice Toyota family here. Rolling shots. Pretty dope. Top shop side skirts, Caminari front lip, D2 coilovers. These are Koenig feathers, 17 by 7.5 with spacers, 215, 45, 17. That was my first or second setup on the car. Aero catch hood latches. Posted up at the meet. That's my buddy Kevin. His Celica was real nice. It's gone now. A lot of people come and go in the Celica scene. I'm too stubborn to get rid of it, and I've done too much to the car to bring it back to stock and sell it. I've also modified it so much to my liking that I really don't think I would find another buyer for this car. And if I did, they just wouldn't pay me what I feel the car is worth. And it's not an extravagant amount, but I would like to get some of the money for at least the parts that have gone into the car. But it's at a stage right now where it's never going back to stock. It would be too difficult. It would be very costly. So, time to go full retard. D2 coilovers. I went through many of these. Currently on my second set of D2 coilovers on the Celica. One by one they blew out, or the road salt would seize the purchase, and I would just end up buying another set. So I'm on set number 2 right now. They're pretty good though. Most of the damage caused to this was just my error. Pretty nice shots. The car did get a lot of attention back in the day at car meets. People like taking pictures of it. It's different, you get to hear, if you have a Celica, you've probably heard this before. If you have a really clean Celica, somebody's probably told you, hey, this is really nice for a Celica, which is kind of messed up. Like if you told somebody you're really attractive for a black person, that would be kind of hurtful, right? So, I mean, it's just a car, but it's a nice car, period. Respect the build. It's not the platform that makes the car, not always. It's the work that you put into it. It's the effort you put into it. Another nonsense car wash shot. You know how I roll. My buddy again. Yeah, Celica looking fresh. Wings west front lip at the beginning of its life. This is my daily driver. I tried putting these wheels on, but they were way too bent. Anyway, back to the Celica, because that's what you guys want. Hood spacers. I mean, whatever. This is my cramped little garage where I pretty much rebuilt the Celica. I pulled the motor out and painted the engine bay. Suspension components here and there. I had broken a control arm, as you saw in a previous picture. Job for a cowboy. Downstar hardware. The Downstar hardware for the strut mount, it's actually the reason why I had hood spacers. The hood just wouldn't close with these spiky studs, and I really wanted to run these spiky studs. But they're gone. Back in the day, hanging out with a friend and her EP3, pretty sweet car. Got to drive it. I enjoyed it. Good times. Car hangs. I like gadgets. One screen wasn't enough, and these head units didn't have GPS back in the day. I just like random gadgets. Testing out random GPSs. This is a buddy of mine's car. He was wrapping it matte black, putting a Lexan rear window, carbon fiber here and there, stripped. I don't think he completed it. He got rid of it. Yeah, cool little car. My Geo. held me down. Carbon fenders. I got them so cheap that I figured I'll rock them. But it's not really my style. If I were to rock these again, I probably would just paint them. This is after I removed some of the sound deadening on the Celica. And I've also painted it after this point. The car was pretty low. It went through a lot of iterations of ride height. This isn't the lowest it has been. Here's the Momo Jet steering wheel. I was pretty iffy because on the pictures I couldn't tell if this trim ring was real or fake carbon. And I know they sell a replacement trim ring, and that looks like it's fake carbon, but once I ordered it and had it in my hands, it was definitely real carbon. So I was pretty happy with that. It's a nice quality steering wheel. Momo hub to go with it. That's from a Supra, but I just kind of cross-referenced the part numbers. I got it pretty cheap on eBay for a Supra, and I knew that those splines matched the Celica because Supra people were installing Celica wheels on their Supras. So just, some of it takes trial and error. You got to do some homework. If it's not a popular platform, it's going to take some work. Carrying out my carbon hood. I rolled hoodless for, a couple meets and stuff. I don't think the wire tuck is good enough to roll hoodless, but, you tell me. A little bracketron, old school cell phone holder, drills into the interior and just kind of hangs there. I loved the look of this, but this is going to go. Celica hangs. I've always been working on the car in one form or another. It's an ongoing project and never really ends, but it's a lot of fun, and I feel like this time around I'm kind of reinventing the car and reinventing myself with it. Now the car is going to reflect me in a totally different fashion. I think it's a more grown-up approach, but it's pretty hardcore. It's going to be more like a race car than a street car at this point, but it's part of the fun, building a race car in my shed. Red LED gauges. If you want to set yourself apart, you're going to have to take extra steps. I couldn't find nice hardware for my steering wheel, so I decided I would paint it myself. And I knew that Hondas, for example, you could buy a nice fuel pump cover, but that wasn't an option for my Celica, so I just cleaned that up and painted it myself. Painted it gold to match the roll bar, which I also painted myself. If you want your build to stand apart, if you want your build to stand out, you're gonna have to put in the work to make it stand out. You have to go the extra mile. You got to do things the hard way, but it will be worth it in the end. Somebody asked me about my parking brake handle. This is what I'm rocking. This is a Momo Pit Stop. It's a fake, and they have the balls to put the logo on it. I ordered this thinking it wouldn't have a logo because it just said Momo Style on eBay, and when I got it, it had this logo, so I vinyl wrapped it because I absolutely cannot rock fake stuff. I will rock unbranded stuff or look-alike stuff or replicas, but I hate replicas that have the name of the real thing. That's just, you're being a fraud. It's like a Lancer with an Evo wing. You're a liar. You're a bad person. Just kidding. You're a bad person. You're a bad person. Anyway, I used to be that guy. Actually, no, I wasn't. That was my first time walking around with a steering wheel. So yeah, once upon a time, this was the only time I really use my quick release steering wheel. It is mostly for show. It just makes it easier to get in and out of the car, and it is a nice deterrent for security reasons. But this one time, I was that dude at Home Depot with my quick release steering wheel, looking at, you guess it, Plasti Dip. Yeah, I don't even I don't even remember what I plasticked. Actually, I do. The front lower half of my front bumper is plasticked black so that the rock chips don't wreck it as badly. Yeah, I was even shifting gears. The Geo, I really enjoyed the Geo. It was a reliable car. The transmission went on it at a really unfortunate time, and I had to replace it. Luckily, a friend helped me out there. I added this hood bra, and I had plasticked this front bumper just to, I don't know, give it a different look, because driving a stock car was miserable. And the Geo Prism was so slow. The Geo Prism made the Celica feel like a rocket ship, and the Celica's not even that fast. Geo Prism was a 1.6, like not even 100 horsepower. Yeah, the Pro Sport gauges looked really nice. They have that nice warning feature without a controller. They daisy chain together. So on paper, it's really nice set of gauges. I was really proud of these conic wheels. They came out nice. They matched the car real nice. The gold and the purple. These were T1R lug nuts. These are actually forged aluminum lug nuts. I paid about $35 for each set of 4 lug nuts. Like I said, at the time, finding parts that were purple was very difficult. And I decided that my car had to be purple. So that meant that I would powder coat things or I would paint things, but if I wanted it to be purple, I had to make it so it wasn't, as easy as it is today to find purple things, believe it or not. These are my TRD Sports M rear spats. I got these from a seller on eBay. They came from overseas. I painted them myself. I used paint from Automotive Touch Up. The color matched the car. My buddy Kevin again. I was toying with different ideas for wheels for this car for a while. So I had my Conics, but I knew I wanted more. And NT03Ms were nice, but they were 18s, so it was kind of large. And then I had photoshopped these Enki RPF1s in, what I believe is like a 17 by 9 because of the flat face of the spokes. And I thought that was a good look. And the stock conic feathers and 17s also. I think 17s are perfect for the Celica. 18s are just a bit large. The wheel arch doesn't really allow for a large wheel like that. It's too stancy. The Celica. Yeah. I had a lot of fun with this car. It's been with me since 2007. I added these European rear fog lights. They run 2 in Europe, and I wanted the same setup. I thought, I wanted to set myself apart from all the stock Celicas and throw some Euro goodies on there like the Honda guys do. Mix a little Euro, a little Japanese, a little USDM, just the best from all worlds. There are parts on this Celica that are made in America. There are parts that are made in Japan. There are parts that have that JDM, whatchamacallit, like that JDM vibe or JDM points, because it's rare or hard to find, or it's just expensive. And then there are parts that are American companies. So, performance, when it comes to performance, in my opinion, it doesn't necessarily matter what country the parts are coming from. It's just a matter of function. Yeah, if you want to go all JDM with your build, it's really up to you. I think just pick and choose what you like and make sure that they complement each other. That's one thing that I notice with a lot of people. They just throw parts on their cars and it doesn't complement the other part or the other part or the other part, and then you have this abstract collection of random things on one gallery, one vehicle. And me fooling around with my quick release steering wheel, I was probably like 170 pounds. I was super light, weight reduction everywhere back in the day. Look at them guns. I still, I still lived. Celica. I damaged one of these D2 coilovers somehow. I hit a nasty bump and this happened. Good times. Yeah, this was one of the first meets with the Celica. It was at some college campus. Really nice. I was really active in car meets. I liked just getting out there and meeting people and seeing different things. It's how I get to know people. My Yankees. I worked probably within 2 weeks. I probably worked 90 to like 95 hours. I did some crazy overtime just to get these wheels. Did a lot of little polishing of things. This was actually repainted because it just got real rusty. That's not supposed to be polished. Don't polish that. Rotora big brake kit I picked up used. Obviously purple parts, hard to find. Paint it yourself, bro. My fuel pump access cover. So on your Celica, you can, if you have a gutted interior, you can remove the cover. It's glued on. Just pry carefully. You could polish it, get it to look like a mirror, or you could paint it, whatever you want. Or you could just do nothing and hide it under a seat, like a normie. Here's my auto power roll bar. I got this used. It was black. It had a couple nicks. The previous owner of this roll bar actually rolled his Celica, and the bar was good. The Celica was damaged, but the bar's in my car now. Painted it gold. I got this gold paint from Grimspeed because the gold paint that was on the shelf just didn't look right. So Grimspeed offers a gold paint that matches your BBS wheels on your Subaru. So that's what that is. And they do match the Enki RPF ones pretty nicely. I was super hyped to get these. 17x9, offset is 45. I never had a real wheel until, then I got these Enkis. I had a couple of Conics. I actually had a set of Enki Evo 5s before, but they never made their way onto the car. They just didn't look right, so I didn't bother. I painted my interior several times. I painted my dash. I painted the center console and the trim pieces. This is what you do. And here's a little random pic of me. I figured if the car thing didn't pan out, I could just start a biker gang. What do you think? Celica. You can see my low income tuner banner, my Tri-State Toyotas banner. The scene was kind of picking up, but then it just kind of went down again. So it fluctuates, but I don't. I love cars. I'm gonna be a car guy until the day I die. I think being a car guy, you do things that they're just different. Your thought process is different. You just, I don't know, you gotta tinker with everything. Here are some of the parts for my engine build. So I got most of my stuff came from Monkey Wrench Racing. So Monkey Wrench Racing, Circuit Works, oil pump gears inside of a brand new Toyota oil pump housing. So they swap out the gears for you, then you just throw it on your car. So yeah, a couple random pics of the Celica. Low income tuner, that was my crew back in the day. Just me and some friends. We're talking one day, and we're low income tuners because we're broke. We're young kids, so Celica interior, chilling at the gym, looking fresh. Got my little Bracketron, holding up my MVP vape back in the day, before everybody was making huge clouds. Now I just choose not to vape because I don't own a Subaru. Just kidding. I don't know. I wanted to quit smoking. I didn't want to be addicted to vaping. So yeah, Celica hangs. I would get as many Celica people as I could together. I always like to see several Celicas together. I just think it's cool. lowincometuner.wordpress.com. Not even sure if that blog is still up because WordPress is now a paid platform. But check it out. I got some stuff in there if you want to take a peek at some old stuff. This was the first meet that the car was out. winter meet, daily stance. So a lot of the first meets that I mentioned, they were like within a year of each other. So after the motor being rebuilt and thrown back in the car, I started hitting more and more meets. That's when I was rolling on my Koenig wheels. Later down, I got the Yankees. So yeah, here's a couple of Celicas all in Jersey. We did pretty good. We got a lot of Celicas together. It was mostly a Celica group on Facebook, Northeast Toyotas or Northeast Celicas, something like that. I think it disbanded since, but who knows? The Celica prices are dropping, so obviously more people are going to modify these cars. Carbon blue seems like a popular color sometimes. Chris O'Neill, shout out to that guy, taking cool pictures. I wanted candy purple wheels, but it was too loud. I did roll with this '03 front bumper for a while. It was unpainted. I like it, but if I were to rock it currently, I would need a nice subtle lip, and I don't think there's a as subtle lip as the Molly lip that I have on the Celica currently. This is right at, I think this is a fresh meat. I'm taken at fresh meat by my buddy Matt Campbell. Check him out. This is one of the first pictures of the car when I got it back in '07. Bone stock, not a single mod. When I got it, I hit the ground running. Got coilovers and lights and little random things. You can see in this picture it does have black housing headlights, so I was already, it didn't take long. I wanted a car that I could modify, and the Celica was that car. This is where my Celica sat for months, untouched. Celica stuff. These cats used to just chill by my car. They were my guards. My garage. The little Celica stuff. I put this motor together in my bedroom. I had white wheels for a while, white GTS wheels. I think they look really good. Just kind of hard to clean. And I only painted the fronts, and then I blew the motor. So there's no point in painting the other ones. Here are the Enki Evo 5s I picked up. First wheels, but I just chose not to mount them. They didn't really go with the car. It needed to be gold, not bronze. Not light gold, not brownish gold. It needed to be gold. Got these TSWs from a buddy. Still have one, use it as a spare. SPC arms, I broke one of those. D2 coilovers. This is my 91 Celica. JDM corners. Yeah, the Celicatron was the name of this car. Here's my motor being built. Little intake manifold, painted that, painted these wheels. While the engine was out, I painted everything I could. Here you could see this is with the busted rear camera arm. And there's a broken piece right there. More car wash stuff. There's probably a ton of these. My cat, Busty. He's my dude. This was like one of the first geoprisms I saw lowered. I wanted to do this so bad, but I knew it would take attention away from the Celica builds, so I just didn't follow through. I painted these control arms. Anything I could paint or restore, refinish, I did. I pressed in these energy suspension bushings. So while the car was down, I did everything I could. I painted this dashboard. I wanted a black interior, but I didn't want to spend the money for the '03 interior. So I painted it myself with some SEM brand Landau black. It was precisely the black finish that I wanted. My Koenigs, first time I got them, came with center caps, but they were chrome. Obviously, I had to strip the chrome off and get a little TRD decal for these guys. Yeah, so there was a lot of long nights working on the car. I would just come home from work and just straight to the car. Got the wire tuck done in the meantime, so if I couldn't be outside, I was inside working on the wire tuck. Here are the decals that I installed on the custom blacked out center caps. I was pretty dedicated. I had a vision for it, and I was pretty relentless. And I wish I knew that I could apply that to other parts of my life. So take my advice. You could, set your mind to it, Get stuff done. Don't just sit around. Don't waste time. Do something. Me fooling around with Photoshop back in the day, before Photoshop was a subscription service. I thought it was the coolest thing. Several aerials. But I'm the most aerial of all aerials. Engine bay looking janky. But this is how it started. It was a mess. And it was some trial and error. Here's my number 3 piston. That cylinder, obviously. Piston melted. And got a gash here on the cylinder wall where probably a piece of spark plug made its way in there. Destroyed that. Destroyed the cylinder head. I had another motor, another 2ZZ that I got from somebody. I traded an old set of coilovers. So the cylinder head off of that was pulled off, and that was rebuilt, and that went into the Celica build, the new motor. Here's a not so great 3-gauge pillar pod that I got used, not from DDP Performance. They make the nicest one, I believe. Before that, it was some dude on the Celica forum selling them, so you just kind of had to wait for one to pop up and snatch it up. These are Top Shop carbon fiber door inserts. I painted the doors. I painted all of the interior. If you order yourself an OEM short block from Monkey Wrench Racing or Toyota even, it's going to come in a box like this. This is my short block. And short block with male pistons already installed. Brand new cam gear, because I heard that there was a revision in the cam gear. Back in the day, there was a epidemic of VVTi cam gears exploding. Also, this water pump came off with a spare motor that I had. You could see the fins are broken. So there's a water pump, I believe, with metal fins, as well as a water pump with plastic fins. So something to look out for. Dry ice to remove the sound deadening all over the interior. There's a bit of sound deadening, and I got most of it. There's some on the driver's side still. Maybe some day later down I'll get that done, but so far the car is pretty good as it stands. Just needs touch-ups and updates. Here's my dad helping me work on the car. It was a bonding experience. I took a week off from work, and that was when the motor was pretty much assembled by myself, and that's when we threw it in the car. It was a great experience. It was crazy. It was my first time doing anything like this. This pickle fork is excellent for me for removing these axles. I was not able to get the axle off, and I basically pulled the trans out with the axle still attached. Popped it off with this bad boy, borrowed it from someone at work. Having the right tools. Check that clutch out. South Bend TZ clutch, Fidanza flywheel, Kevlar disc, full face clutch. It sprung, feels real nice. This is the power steering delete pulley. If you're gonna delete your power steering, you'll need this pulley. You'll need a bolt, a sleeve, a washer. I think Monkey Wrench has it. My painted intake manifold with my favorite gloss black again. Rack bushings. Here's my empty. Gives you an idea of the garage. I could only open one door. The car had to be far to one side so that I could work on the other side and have enough space. But it was a workspace. It was amazing to have it. So finally, they told me at my job I had to get my car the hell out of there. So luckily I had the garage. So I just had it towed home, and that's when I started working on, this whole process, this whole rebuild of the evil Celica. Here's my auto power roll bar. Got that via Greyhound interior, engine bay coming back together little by little, cleaning everything. Everything got cleaned, removed, just killing time, doing stuff, trying to make it as best I could. Auto Power Industries. For anyone interested in a roll bar, that's where I got it from. This is the look that I was going for with the manifold. Polished runners, but black everything else. This time around, I'll probably just do everything black. I have a dented runner and it drives me crazy. Yamaha. Made sure that I painted the timing cover, and then I just took a little sanding block and took the paint off of the Yamaha letters. I'm running a water pump pulley from MWR. It's slightly different size, kind of nonsense stuff, but The stock one looked real janky. So there's my oil pump with the Circuit Works gears. Probably best oil pump you could get for this car. Craftsman torque wrench, because I absolutely needed a high quality torque wrench. This was a 3/8. I used this to install the cylinder head bolts. I used ARP head studs. Yeah, that torque wrench was awesome, but I had to sell it because I only used it once. And after that, I had no use for it. Here's the engine bay. There's a lot of prep going on there. I cleaned it, scuffed it, and repainted it myself. So MWR sells their own ARP head stud kit. It's just different instructions. That's the only difference. It's the same parts, but they give you different instructions. They give you the procedure that they use for the 2Z ZGE. Here's my cylinder head. They send that straight through the mail. It's got the MWR domed valves here, so they drop the compression like 0.5. So whatever. It's a low compression build for boost. Little knickknacks here and there. And there's my engine sitting in my bedroom. Put it together, disassembled it all, painted it. There it is. There it is. Boom. I loved it. I thought it looked so beautiful. I would have left it on the stand, but gotta drive, so put it back in the car. MWR water pump pulley. So it just looks different. Everything it gets rusty, so you don't want to paint everything. Jeez. Here's the engine bay, masked off, primed, filler primer, and then color went on. This is from Automotive Touch-Up Paint or whatever. I think it's Automotive Touch-Up Paint. They give you color match cans, aerosol. So all of this was rattle canned because that's what I had. I didn't have a compressor. I didn't have electricity. Most of the work I did during the day, and at night I used flashlights to see. Here's my Low Income Tuner WordPress site, probably gone by now. Yeah, the Celica. It was a hell of a run. PC 680 in the rear, and got the bracket from eBay, pretty inexpensive. Low Income Tuner barbecue with my buddy here, Gary. He's got a Carceps front lip, and I believe a Carceps. These are actually Topshop side skirts. I got my skirts from him. He's an OG. Not sure if he's still around. Fender washer kit, man. Finally, purple parts showing up. Busty, my guy, holding me down. He was my support. He's like, "You gonna get this, Celica? You're gonna get it done. I believe in you." I was like, "You know what? You're a cat, but you know what you're talking about." Here's my compression readings. When I did the compression, I knew the car was done. So cylinder 3, 0 psi, 0 psi, 0 psi. Threw some oil in there. I could have sworn I saw 15, but after that, 0, 0. So obviously it was dead. The Celica in pieces. Evaporator came out. There's no AC in the car, no power steering. Working on little LEDs, random things. Just, I kind of tackled it as, what can I afford to do now? What makes sense to do right now? Just a lot of thinking, a lot of planning, visualizing, and brainstorming. Here's my TRD Sports M rear spats. They were spec blue. Even if they did match the car, that paint was janky, and these were actually damaged. I guess I didn't see the listing pictures properly or something. Maybe it happened during shipping. They did the right thing. They gave me about $20 refund, and I used that to buy some adhesives and repair putties, and I think I did a pretty good job. This is my repaired my repaired rear spat. Used some JB Weld on the back and some bumper filler. My first time doing anything like that, but it was, I don't know, a real confidence boost to make something broken fixed. And bodywork is not really my thing, so yeah, Celica was about the low life. You could see I was tucking tire in the back, got some crazy camber. Here's me and my buddy replacing the trans on the Geo. That took like 2 days. That was a nightmare. It was like -14. I'm exaggerating. It was cold though. It was winter. Purple brakes. You already know. There's pieces of the trans right here. Like, I dropped the pan on the Geo, and I don't know what happened, but that was broken. And yeah, there's the Celica, the little harness that I was working on. There's a little stroll down memory lane, talk about the Celica. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the video. Hit the like button, share, follow me on Instagram at @themost_Ariel. Yeah, like, comment, share this with your friends, subscribe, hit the bell so you can get notified of my uploads. They're every week. Yeah, Celica fam. This is when I got rid of my TRG Kazuma. Straight pipe with one resonator, basically. This stock cat. Traded it with some dudes. They came, they installed it themselves. Yeah, just too damn loud. I was tired of being the loudest car and the slowest car. I would pull up next to an Evo or something fast, and I would just be crazy loud and wouldn't even be able to keep up. Top shop, carbon fiber door inserts, timing cover. You know the drill. Shiny car parts, brand new stuff. ARP head studs, brand new short block, Odyssey PC 680. I mean, I was heavily inspired by the Honda scene, and the community is so large. You get to see a lot of different types of builds, and you get to see people that are really into cars and really into being meticulous and things that are really well thought out. So I was inspired by them, and I tried my best to do it, just apply it to a less popular platform. At the end of the day, it's a car. It's got 4 wheels. It's made out of metal. Just choose a car you like, learn about cars, do what you want with it, build it for yourself. My Celica is not the fastest car on the road. It's not the coolest car on the road, but I enjoy it. It was built for me by me, and it's just how I express myself. And that's just, that's the takeaway from cars. It's just a different form of art, a different form of expression. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, there's that fresh carbon blue paint. Beautiful, because it's kind of greenish otherwise. So here's the day we got the motor in. I didn't start that day. It took some time. I just didn't want to rush it. When I finally did get this car to start, there was a couple of issues, but it was just minor stuff. I didn't put oil on the O-rings for the injectors. I didn't know. I was a noob that was building an engine and rebuilding a car. So that was a quick, easy fix. Yeah, Celica, tons of sleepless nights, planning and building and working. But it's an act of love. And I'll leave you with that. The Evil Celica. That's the name of my Celica, by the way. The Evil Celica. Because, I had another one before it, but this was the evil one. Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Instagram @themost_Ariel. Peace. Yay. Ariel out.